Aloha! Today we're going to be going over the Indian step or the Pow-Wow step. Some people even call this move the hip twist. Before we get into this move, keep in mind that it's a good idea to have a solid base with your basic cross step that has a kick. The reason why is that we want to make sure that we can carry rhythm and stay on the balls of our feet while we extend and twist. The first is a little more classic and akin to the Pow-Wow Native American rain dance inspiration that it's derived from. In this form, we're basically going to practice marching in place and twisting from our hip.
He's the man. Party people getting funky off the grooves now. Up in the corner stay, we ain't got the rules. Showing up.
Within that context, we're not going to be kicking. We're just going to be raising from our hip flexors and twisting across our body. Some people play around with this move by double stepping and mixing that in with single steps. In this version of the move, we're going to make sure that we're dorsiflexing our foot and keeping our knee at our hip level. From this march, we're going to hop and twist, returning to our opposite side. So all together, from one side to another, that's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and return. The version of this move that demands a little bit more complexity, and is the way that I share with my students in studios, involves a kick or a rock step. So going back to it, we need to make sure that our kicking cross step is solid. We want to make sure that we are lifting through the balls of our feet while we do this step. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. 1 and 2, up, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. So on the 2s and the 4s, the snares, we need to make sure that we are accenting our step. If we can understand how to cross step like this, all we're going to be adding is a twist from our hips. That's going to bring us to this. 1 and 2, bring it back. And we're going to kick. 3 and 4, bring it back. And 5 and 6, bring it back. And 7 and 8. All together, that's going to look like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, 7, 8. Two main things when it comes down to the form of this version of the move. After you've completed one side, make sure that you return back to your base leg and kick from that extended leg. Notice that similar to the first variation, we need to make sure that our knees are up. If you're having a hard time keeping this part of the movement fluid, try to see if you can lift your knees up. You're going to try to make an outside circle with your lower leg. You should feel your lower abdominals and your hip flexors engage. If you notice, this circle plays a big part in how I return from each side. Here we go. Not only is this movement an important warm-up, but it's also found in our 6th step as well. Second key point when it comes down to the form of this move is how you use your arms. Don't try to think too hard. Treat it like you're just running or jogging. Notice that on the hip twist, we want to oppose. For now, you can keep your hands a fist and make sure that your elbows are drawing behind your back in a line.
That sweet sensation that you're sending, I'm
This opposition helps us to stay balanced and allows us to keep our hands in the picture when it comes down to the details of this move. Notice that this movement has an 8th note rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Making sure that we're kicking from our lower leg as well as making an outside circle is key to keeping this movement fluid. It's also key when it comes down to creating the different variations of this step. Kick, switch, twist, and kick, switch, twist, back. Kick, switch, twist, back. Kick, switch, twist, back. Kick, switch, twist, back. Kick, switch, twist. Saying those steps out loud on your own can sometimes help you to build muscle memory. Again, it's kick, switch, twist, back. 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 Kick, switch, twist. Kick, switch, twist. Kick, switch, twist. Kick, switch, twist. Practice doing this move into and out of your basic groove or rock. You don't want there to feel like there's any difference between how you're interpreting the rhythm between these two steps. Application is key when it comes down to fully grasping whatever it is that you're learning, as well as finding out creative ways to use whatever you got. When you try to use what you've been working on, you're not only practicing that movement, but you're also exercising your own creative process through trial and error. Try to throw out a couple of freestyles using this move that we just covered. Practice freestyling into and out of that step. Otherwise, do your best to try to play around with this movement and make it an effective part of your vocabulary and how you interpret the music. Don't forget to practice this until it's something that you can understand enough to flip, digest, or recreate something unique to you. Consider creatively challenging yourself in a number of ways. Applying a character or a demeanor that adds texture to the quality of the movement. Adding fragments of this movement conceptually or physically to another movement. You could reverse the movement, you could invert the movement, or turn it upside down. You could change the height or the level of the movement. You could connect it into or out of less related movements. You could change the body parts involved in completing the movement. You could do it one-handed. You could do it one-legged. You could use this movement in a different space or a different environment. If you learned how to do something on hardwood, try to do it on concrete. Or you could simply listen to new music that demands a reimagining of these movements altogether. Ultimately, remember that true wealth isn't about how much you got. It's about how much you do with what you got. It's not just what you do, it's how you're gonna do it.